Hello everybody, named Chalice. Welcome out everybody to my character analysis of Rhaenyra Targaryen. If you all know me, I'm more of a green supporter than a black supporter, but I really wanted to dissect who Rhaenyra Targaryen is as a character in the TV show. I will not be doing the book, so this entire dang video will be just a character analysis of her entire journey from season 1, from episode 1 to episode 10, and her character journey of who Rhaenyra is as a character. So let's start off with episode 1. In episode 1, we get the introduction of Rhaenyra Targaryen. She is the only child of the king, Viserys. The thing is, over Rhaenyra in this entire dang episode, we get to see a young, youthful, rebellious teenager in Rhaenyra Targaryen. And everything that she smiles, she's the realm's delight, she's happy. She has her best friend Alicent, who's complete opposite of her. She still has her mother, there's going to be another child. And overall, we get to see her character that she is happy for her father, who will eventually get the son that he always wanted. The thing is, though, a tragic event occurs where her mother dies in childbirth, and she is haunted by this. And not only that, the question of will become heir is now aligned. Will it be Daemon or will it be Rhaenyra? And Rhaenyra is given the option to become the first heir, first female heir ever in Targaryen history. She's chosen over her uncle for the first time, and in doing so in episode 1, we see this young, youthful girl that has a stoic expression of the utmost serious situation that she's ever been put in her entire life. She's now given a position in life where it gives her nothing but ultimate power, and she will forever be in the history books as the first female heir named in the history of Westeros. So this was a big introduction to her character, and in episode 1, this is who Rhaenyra Targaryen is. She's a young girl, again, who lost her mother tragically, and she's youthful, rebellious, but the thing is, though, she's now put into a situation that no other woman has ever been in. So it is a quite interesting take of Rhaenyra Targaryen in episode 1. In episode 2, Rhaenyra is now having a fight for her earlship. She has to fight for her right for being the heir. She's fighting her father, who doesn't necessarily want to put her in danger. He doesn't give her any serious positions to do in court. She's trying to prove to Rhaenys, the queen who never was, she's trying to prove to everyone around her that even though she was named heir just because they did not want Daemon, she has to prove to everyone around her that she is worthy of sitting on the Iron Throne. And the thing is, though, with her, she's given some responsibility in this episode. One, she has to choose the first Kingsguard that she's ever going to choose for her father. Now, in a sense, she was correct in choosing Sir Criston Cole. She chooses Sir Criston Cole because, one, he's the able fighter. He's actually been in battle. So she's choosing the one who's been experienced in combat. And she's absolutely correct in it. While Sir Otto Hightower believes in certain other members for political inspirations, she chooses the most logical step. But the way she handled it is just a very young and rebellious thing to do. She's young, she's a teenager, and she wants to get this done as quick as possible. She finds a simple answer as the simplest solution. But Sir Otto's trying to explain to her about the certain politics, about certain houses, about how high they are in the King's Landing. She has to understand that, but she dismisses this because she thinks the effects of having Sir Criston Cole as an experienced commander, as an experienced knight, will do better for her father. She is completely right in a sense, but maybe she could have took a couple of days, already made her decision, and would have had already have the decision made, and she would already explained that to her entire council. She should have kept the council to herself instead of being too brash. But again, I'm not expecting perfection from a teenager. She did a good job, but as you can see, in some cases, the problems with Rhaenyra a little bit is just her youth and inexperience. But overall, I think she's doing a good job so far in the entire House of the Dragon. What she's dealing with, what some people seem to forget, is the fact is she still lost her mother. She's still reeling from the death of her mother. Her father has no choice but to get engaged. Right now, he needs a second wife. He needs to produce more children. And the thing is, though, she also has to deal with the fact that her best friend technically betrayed her. Alicent, while she was forced to be with the king in many cases by her own father, and again, medieval time periods, daughters cannot tell what their fathers what to do, but she could at least have told Rhaenyra what her father was making her do. I'm pretty sure Rhaenyra would have been much more understanding of the situation. She would still be heartbroken, but she still would expect as much. To her, it's a sense of betrayal not only from Alicent, but from her own father as well. Another plus thing, though, Rhaenyra is dealing with is the fact that she has to be the one to confront her uncle on Dragonstone. She makes the decision to go over there. She's the one who makes the decision of to recover the dragon's egg that Daemon was clearly baiting. She baits her uncle. She baits the former heir to slice her right now. And in doing so, Rhaenyra has proven not only to Otto that she's much more smart than she is, she proves to the entire council that how strong and how good Rhaenyra is. She's not just a placeholder. She is proven to herself to be a dragon. And so far, I'm enjoying Rhaenyra in episode 2. She still is an interesting character. And that was actually her best moment to me of the entire series. In episode 3, 2 years has now passed for Rhaenyra. Alicent has given birth to a son and she's pregnant with another child. And the thing is, though, Rhaenyra has a lot of insecurities in episode 3. She thinks she's going to be constantly being replaced by her father as heir. Her father has to reassure her that he did waver in his choice of having Rhaenyra as heir, but he will not waver again. Rhaenyra goes through a lot of insecurities throughout this episode. She's dealing with the fact she's no longer close to Alicent. She's dealing with the fact is that people are trying to marry her off. She now realizes the fact is not only she is heir, but she's also now a puppet in the game. And she has to control her own future. And in doing so, at the end of this episode, Rhaenyra gets the choice of having her to pick her own husband, to pick who she wants to love, to who she's going to marry, and all that. Granted, does she do stupid stuff in episode 4? Yes, but in episode 3, Rhaenyra is a typical ruler, a typical heir during this time, especially the first female heir to be recognized for the Iron Throne. It's very understandable where her insecurities are coming from with her father, with Alicent, and she feels like she is just a useless piece, and she feels like she will have no say in the matter. But her father, at the end of the day, gives her that illusion that she has a choice, to pick of who she wants as to love and to have a happy ending. So in episode 3, I enjoy Rhaenyra. She is a well thought out character for the most part, and for episode 3, I enjoy where she's going so far. And in the beginning of episode 4, we get to see a lot of really silly mistakes Rhaenyra has made, and something she should have been more aware of. Granted, a lot of people could deem this as she's young, she's innocent in a sense, and she doesn't understand the consequence of her actions. And yes, that is a good point. The thing is, though, she makes a lot of crucial mistakes. This is really where Rhaenyra becomes a very ineffective at the larger game. We could take a look at the beginning with the whole marriage proposals. When Rhaenyra has these bunch of marriage proposals for both old and young lords, the thing is, though, she's in the right to deny them any case. She's in the right to deny a man who's older than her father. She's a right to demand young lords who are younger than her. She has an absolute right to reject all of them. But how she does it is completely different. She insults the lords. She makes fun of them in some cases. And the thing is, though, some lords who ain't going to care about it, but the fact of the matter is you're insulting other lords who will eventually have to decide whether or not to choose you in a war. She should have been aware of the consequences. But again, this is a young Rhaenyra. She doesn't think that too much far ahead in the future. Also, when two of the young lords are fighting over each other and they're insulting each other, rather it's just some personal bloodhouse feud, Rhaenyra should have stepped in and stopped it. Instead, she walks away. I blame more the writers for this sense instead of, well, I blame the writers for a good portion of how Rhaenyra is written. And how Rhaenyra is written is just, she just doesn't seem to care about the entire fiasco of the fight, and she decides to leave early for the whole marriage proposals, which is in her right, but how she did it was a bit distasteful. A good thing Rhaenyra does do in this episode is that she tries to make amends with Alicent. They both admit to each other that they both miss each other, and that they want to be in each other's lives in a sense. So that is a good stepping stone for Rhaenyra. The thing is, though, Rhaenyra makes mistakes which will now jeopardize her relationship with Alicent, but not only her, but her father as well. The thing is, though, with Rhaenyra, she goes out with Daemon at night. And the thing is, though, Daemon, I'm going to blame more Daemon on this because I fully believe that Daemon has groomed Rhaenyra since a young age. This is a very grooming way of looking into the relationship, and I really do not blame Rhaenyra for falling for her uncle, who she has idolized since a young age. The thing is, though, Daemon did this with malicious intent. He took Rhaenyra out publicly. He took her out publicly to ruin her reputation. And the reason why this ruins her reputation is so that she will be forced to marry him. That was his entire goal. And that is the love for Rhaenyra? Yes. Also, can he inherit the Iron Throne? Yes, he wants it. If Daemon marries Rhaenyra, in this moment, he essentially is the king of Westeros while she is the queen. And in this Westeros society, who they're going to look to lead this entire faction? Is it going to be Rhaenyra, the first female heir, or is it going to be her militarized uncle? I think I know what the answer is to that, but overall, for Rhaenyra, she goes out with Daemon publicly, and people witness this. And the thing is, though, a princess who's ruining her reputation and sleeping around cannot get good marriage proposals, and no one will want to marry her. That's why she has to double down on the lie to King Viserys and to Alicent. She has to now lie to her father, the king. She has to lie to Alicent that she didn't sleep around, that she's still a maid and her virtues intact, because she knows in any situation this happens, she could be disinherited. She could lose her chance to being queen of the seven kingdoms or the six kingdoms. And this is a drastic thing that Rhaenyra has made a drastic mistake on, and she understands this. And the thing is, I blame more Daemon for this stuff, but Rhaenyra did make the choice of being with her uncle, kissing him, and not thinking about it. Again, she's a teenager, hormones are up, I understand. And the final issue is her sleeping with Sir Criston Cole. Now, some people want to say Rhaenyra raped Sir Criston Cole, which did not happen. Some people say Criston Cole took advantage of a drunk girl. I'm sorry, that did not happen. They both had mutual consensual sex. The thing is, though, the problem is that they're both not free adults to have consensual sex. Rhaenyra is a princess, the heir. She's not allowed to sleep around. Sir Christian is a man who has his chastity, and he's a member of the Kingsguard. He's not allowed to sleep around either. They both committed a grave mistake. They both should not have done it again, and that situation should not have happened. I will probably make a separate video in the future as to who's more to blame in this sense. But overall, another thing Rhaenyra has mistaken is choosing to sleep with Sir Criston Cole. That's a major problem with Rhaenyra in episode 4. She makes a lot of mistakes, crucial mistakes that will ruin her reputation with other lords, and it does not help that she has a scheming uncle who groomed her at a young age to commit a lot of these mistakes. And in episode 5, if you thought Rhaenyra committed some stupid, irresponsible decisions in episode 4, well, she doubles down on everything in episode 5. In episode 4, she does a smart thing when she has to marry Laenor. And the thing is, though, with Laenor, she makes an agreement with him that they can sleep with whoever they want. She will not judge him if he sleeps with whoever he likes, and he will not judge her if she sleeps whoever she likes. She does, however, make another bad mistake in wanting for her and Sir Criston to continue the relationship. Now, it's understandable. She's young. She didn't read him and his intentions of what he truly wants to be with her or not. So she proposed this thing to him, even though knowing this can still get him killed, and it could ultimately lead to his death. So, not the greatest thing for Rhaenyra, it does. But the other thing that she does, very stupidly she does, is when she's with Daemon on the dance floor. People say this is bold, this is daring, this is young Rhaenyra and all this stuff. No, this ain't young Rhaenyra. This is very stupid Rhaenyra. I cannot believe when I was watching this entire episode of what she was doing with her entire character. She was dancing with her uncle, the man who was banished from King's Landing, the man who was, I don't know, rumored to kill his first wife. He was denounced as heir. She's out. There was rumors about her publicly going out with him. It doesn't help the fact that she's now addressed these rumors as true, that she not only antagonizes Daemon in front of the king, her father, who made it very clear to her the truth does not matter, just perception. And in doing so, she's proven to everybody in that entire realm, whoever was invited to that entire dance, that she is not irresponsible, that she is now sleeping around with her uncle. And it doesn't help the fact that she does this in front of the future in-laws that she will have as family. In doing so, Rhaenyra has now jeopardized everything very publicly. Episode 4, she could have got away with it because the fact of the matter is, it was private, it was all hearsay, and no one can truly say what happened. But in episode 5, she makes it clear and publicly to everybody that, I have the hots for my uncle. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to do whatever I want. And it doesn't matter what my future in-laws think or my father, the king, thinks. I'm going to do whatever I want. People say this is bold. I find this reckless. I find this stupid. To me, she's just proven to everybody why she should not be the heir for the Iron Throne. But overall, my personal opinion of Rhaenyra is that she is a young girl who lost her mother at a young age, who was groomed by her uncle, who had a father who was not very, he was a very hands-off father. He was not a strict father. and at moments he does try to teach her anything, she just basically ignores him like a typical teenager. It's understandable why Rhaenyra is the way she is. It's understandable why she's made certain mistakes. But the thing is, though, in Westeros society, and in any case in any medieval culture, she has to be smarter than this. And so far, Rhaenyra, for the most part, from episode 1 through 5, a young Rhaenyra is a very stupid Rhaenyra. In my personal opinion, I like Rhaenyra as a character from the first 5 episodes. She made some interesting choices. She made some very great choices. But overall, I find her a very young and inexperienced ruler, and she is not worthy of anything to govern any society. And if anybody who is looking outside of Westeros, they would possibly see that she is going to be an irresponsible heir just as bad as Daemon in some cases. But that's my personal opinion, everybody. There will be a part 2 to this entire dang video of who Rhaenyra Targaryen is. I did a part 1 to really dissect her as a young Rhaenyra and how she will transform into the later on in a later season from episode 6 to episode 10. I really want to do a part 2 just to show really the growth of Rhaenyra and how she has somewhat changed and how much more wiser she got and how much more her mistakes has now cost her future. But that's my personal opinion, everybody. What y'all think? You think Rhaenyra is a good ruler so far? You think she is still young and experienced? You think she's brash, she's bold? Or you believe she's being very, very, very stupid for being the first female heir to inherit the Iron Throne? Let me know what y'all think. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.